Hi, welcome to SPR Videos. I'm Peter Loshak. We are previewing the main card of UFC 192. We are talking with Nick Kalikas from MMAOddsbreaker.com and our call-in guest, MMA handicapper from MMAOddsbreaker.com Premium, Mike James. All right, guys, let's start with Julianna Pena and Jessica Eye. This is an interesting fight, right? Pena obviously is having a meteoric rise. She got her sights set on Ronda Rousey, and she's a big favorite here, though. This is like the fight where she steps into the limelight. She's minus 245 right now at 5 dimes, and the question is just how much of an advantage does she have over Jessica Eye? I mean, Jessica Eye is a grizzled veteran, no slouch. She's been in the ring. She's proven herself. Minus 245, Pena's getting a lot of respect here. Mike James, is she getting too much respect, or is this an appropriate amount of respect? What do you think?
I think it's going to be a tough fight. Either way, I think Jessica Eye has the advantage on the feet. But Pena, she's a bulldog in there. She rushes forward. She gets the clinch. She initiates the clinch. She likes to get the fight to the ground. She's really, really aggressive, almost to a fault at times. She kind of doesn't really have the best defense. And she also hasn't fought the best competition, so that should be noted as well. The girl she beat in the Tough House, Shayna Baszler, and the girl she just beat, Julianna Pena, aren't the best competition. Jessica Eye is a big step up in competition for her. So, it's really hard to say. Jessica Eye has a handful, though. She's a small 125er, so it's going to be really hard for her to keep this fight on her feet. And she really hasn't shown much from her back either. I mean, her fights against Miesha Tate and Alexis Davis, she basically did nothing from her back. She really, it's kind of almost amateur. She really had no even attempts to get back to her feet or even have any offense from her back. So I do think this is going to be a tough fight from her. Pena's a lot bigger. She had, like you said, she does have her eyes set on Ronda Rousey. It's kind of too big, for right now. But I do think Pena pulls it out here. But I do not like the line at minus 245. I think it's more of a pass situation, more of a wait and see how she does here, and then evaluate further down the line.
Nick Kalikas, I'm guessing that with someone who had the flashy wins that Pena has had, there's a buzz around her. I'm guessing that even as a big favorite that the public has been betting her. Is that not the case?
Yeah, actually opened at minus 180 for Pena, wow. And it did get bet up to 2.5 to 1 where you see it now. Because as Mike mentioned, I mean, it is a big step up for competition. Jessica Eye is considered one of the top girls in the bantamweight division, no doubt about that. So really, to have that amount of respect and become almost 2 to 1 favorite. I mean, let's not forget Miesha Tate was around that spot as well, and we all know Miesha Tate's considered widely number 2 in the division. So Pena's right up there as far as respect going at the betting window right now. And of course, a lot has to do with their last performances as well. Pena, of course, dominated, and Jessica Eye lost to Miesha Tate, which she did end up getting dropped a couple times, and then the ground game a little bit, as Mike pointed out, belongs to Pena as far as advantage there goes as well. So a little bit of everything coming into play. Since Jessica lost the last fight, I think that's affecting her overall stock with the betting public, and they're coming in on Pena because stylistically, I mean, Pena has the wrestling. Pena has some power as well. She's got obviously some submission game to go along with it. So she's a stylistic matchup, kind of like Miesha Tate was. So this is going to be a difficult fight, and I think that's why people are coming in that way. And also, as Mike pointed out, I mean, Jessica Eye typically, before she got into the UFC, she was fighting at 125.
Right.
So really, Jessica Eye for 135, I mean, obviously she's not weak, and she could compete with the best, but, I mean, really her weight class before that was 125. So she is a little bit outsized and out-muscled sometimes at 135, but she can hang in there. I guarantee you she's going to be motivated, and you cannot count Jessica Eye out in this fight.
I look at this, I think, no matter what, the public is going to be betting Pena here. So did you set up the lines to need Eye as a decision?
Yeah, a little bit. I think that we're probably going to get more action, continue to get more action on Pena here, but it's hard to gauge again because she is taking that big step up in competition. And let's face it, Jessica Eye has had some magnificent performances along the way thus far outside of that last Tate fight, which she was actually dominating early on in that fight before she got rocked by a huge punch from Miesha Tate too, and then that kind of changed the complexion. So, I mean, as far as respect factor go, it is always tough to set the line that way. But again, Pena, I thought would probably get a little bit more respect. I didn't think it would go up quite as high to even a higher line than Miesha Tate was, though, at this point. So expecting we'll need Jessica Eye by decision, like you just said, and I think that's the way Jessica Eye does win. If she does win this fight, it's probably going to be on the scorecards. So I'm expecting that, but I'm a little bit surprised by how much support Pena is getting.
Yeah, I'm not surprised, though, because of how she got here, and again, Jessica Eye's last fight. All right, let's go back to you, Mike James. You know, the big question here is how much of an edge does Pena actually have? And at the lines where they are right now, you know, if you think they're inflated, do you think that Jessica Eye then would have value at the current odds of plus 205?
I personally would just pass on this fight. I think it's just too many variables here. I think Pena should win this fight, but they just haven't seen enough of her against top quality competition yet. I think she has a lot of advantages, you know, basically size, strength on the ground. I think she can bully Jessica Eye a little bit. You know, Eye can win this fight. You know, she uses her movement, her boxing. She definitely has better hands. And let's face it, you know, Pena doesn't have great defense. She kind of rushes in like a bulldog, like I said. So I do favor Pena to win, but I'm going to take a wait-and-see approach and just evaluate this fight and see how she does from here.
Fair enough. It's an interesting fight. The winner, you know, has Ronda Rousey in her sights. We will see. As of right now, feels like a pass for both Mike James and Nick Kalikas.